Good day everyone. Welcome to my activity 6. For this activity, I will show to you my for loop statement and while loop statement and also the changes I made and improvements from my previous activity, activity 5. So basically, activity 5 and activity 6 is related because I used the same codes from activity 5 to activity 6. So I have here my output from activity 5, print. Minimum health protocols are strictly implemented inside the school premises, and the health protocols are this one, this highlighted text, and then print health protocols, print this line breaker over here. Then the program will tell the user to please type in your student or faculty or staff ID number before entering the room for monitoring purposes. And then input your ID number. The program will ask the user for their ID number, and I converted it into string because ID number is composed of whole numbers. And then another line breaker here. The program will tell the users upon entering the room your temperature will be monitored, and body temperature is a float variable since it contains decimal points, so it will ask the user to input their body temperature. After that one, if body temperature is less than 37.4, then the program will tell the user that you have a normal body temperature. And I created another variable here, formatted string, then the ID number of the user. Remember to follow health protocols to remind again the user of the health protocols. Then print this new variable over here, the normal temperature. In the else if statement, else if the body temperature is equal to 37.5, then the program will tell the user their ID number. If you are not feeling well, tell your instructor and go to the university clinic. Remember to follow health protocols. So once again, the user will be reminded again of the health protocols. The else statement here, else if the user's body temperature is greater than 37.5, then the program will tell the user their ID number, you have a fever. Print, you cannot attend the class, inform your instructor, and please report to the university clinic. So if you run this code, minimum health protocols are strictly implemented inside the school will be printed. This string variable and these health protocols will show up because I used the print function to print the health protocols. And then the program was asking the user to please type in your student or faculty staff ID number entering the room for monitoring purposes. So I already inputted my example ID number here, and then an example body temperature. The program tells the user that you have a normal body temperature, and then the program will remind again the user of the health protocols. And this is my output for activity 6. So these are the changes I made. Over here I have the import module and the while loop statement, and then the for loop statement for the for the if statement, and for the else if statement I have here my for loop statement, and for the else statement I have here the for loop statement. So let's start from the beginning. I use the import module to automatically put the current date or the date today. Import date time, date underscore object equal to date time today. Next day underscore date equal to date time today plus date time that time delta days. So time delta days is referring to the unit of time. So the unit of time here is by days. And then I have here the entry list of the names that has a normal body temperature, and the entry list for the names that has a fever. And this will be used later on for the four loop statements. And this is the while loop statement. While date object, remember, is the date today is not equal to next day underscore date. Then print date object, it will show the user the date today. And then convert string equal to string date object, because we will be using the dash character. And then date underscore body dot temperature equal input date today. The program will ask the user for the date today, and I use this one, date body temperature, to indicate the type of activity that I am creating. And my output is related to the checking of body temperature. That's why date underscore body underscore temperature. And that is for our while loop statement. And this condition over here will be repeated over and over. So basically, user after user. Then after that, the program will print minimum health protocols are strictly implemented inside the school premises. Once again, these are the health protocols over here. I have defined these health protocols to this set of text. And then print health protocols, a line breaker. Print, please type in your student, faculty, staff ID number, and full name for monitoring purposes. So I added a full name here because from the previous activity I did not include the user's full name. Then the program will ask the user for their ID numbers, same from activity 5. I converted it into integer variable because ID number contains whole numbers. And then the program will ask for the user's full name. This is added because this is not included in the activity 5. Then print space, print, upon entering the room your body temperature will be monitored. Then body underscore temperature equal to float input body temperature. I converted it into float because body temperature contains decimal points. And print space, and this is the if, else if, and else statement. So I have here my if statement. If body temperature is less than 37.4, then program will put the user's ID number, comma, their full name. You have a normal body temperature. Print space. Once again, the program will remind the user of the health protocols that if their body temperature satisfies this condition over here. And then for the for loop statement, for a num is equal to 1, for I in range, open close parenthesis, num colon names underscore normal dot append, open close parenthesis, formatted string, ID number, comma, full name. Basically, these details will be added to my entry list I made earlier. The entry list for the names that has a normal body temperature, names underscore normal. This will be added. The entry of this one the entry of this one will be added later on to this entry list. And after that, the program will print lists of student, faculty, or staff that has a normal body temperature. Then their names will be displayed later. And then a line breaker over here, the else if statement, else if body underscore temperature is equal to 37.5, then the program will display the user's ID number, comma, their full name. If you are not feeling well, please go to the university clinic, because basically 37.5 is still a normal body temperature. However, that might fluctuate from time to time, so it should be monitored, or the student or the staff or faculty should go to the university clinic if they are not feeling well. Then print space, print, program will remind again the user to follow health protocols. Then the for loop statement for I in range refers to this one, num is equal to 1, names underscore normal that append, in close parenthesis, formatted string, the user's ID number, comma, the user's full name will be added to the entry list of names underscore normal. So just like from our if statement, our else if statements for loops else if statement for loops statement will be also added to the entry list of names normal. After that one, the program will print list of student, faculty, or staff that has a normal body temperature. After that, it will print the details of the user that they have a normal body temperature, and then a line breaker over here, and the else statement, if the user has a fever, the program will display their ID number, comma, full name, telling the user that you have a fever, please go to the university clinic. And then print space over here, print formatted string, remember to follow health protocols, once again to remind the user of the health protocols. And num is equal to 1 for I in range, num, names underscore fever dot append, open close parenthesis, the user's ID number, comma, their full name will be added to another entry list. We have here the names underscore fever, so their details will be added to that entry list. Then the user will display this one, list of student, faculty, or staff that has a fever. So once we print the entry list, their name will appear, or their details will appear. So another line breaker. So let's try to run this code. So the date today is 03/22/2022. So please type in your student. So program is asking for the user's ID number. 6. And then the full name, again, date today is 03/22/2022. Input your ID number 2009 12345 full name Adrian J. So I forgot to type my family name. Again, I'll try to run the program again. Adrian. Shadow. Let's say my body temperature is 37. 37. So my name is added to the student or faculty or staff that has a normal body temperature, and the program is telling me that I have a normal body temperature. You have a normal body temperature, and it reminds me once again of the health protocols. Now let's try another name. 22 2022. Your ID number, let's say 1 2 3 5 6 7 8. Full name is Michelle Taps. Her body temperature is 37.5. It is still normal. So the program is telling Michelle Taps that if you are not feeling well, please go to the university clinic, and reminding her of the health protocols once again. And her name is included to those who has a normal body temperature. Now let's create another user's details here. The date for today is 0.22. Mina, ID number, let's say 9. Full name is Mina Prince Olango. Her body temperature is above normal, and program is telling Mina Prince Olango that you have a fever. Please go to the university clinic, and then her name is added to those who has a fever. That's it for my activity 6, the for loop and the while loop statement. Thank you very much.